Hello everyone, and today is the day we are planting our 15 David Austin roses. Really 14.
Yeah,
because
14.
One of them will be going to the back.
So we will be doing 15. It's just 14 in the area that we have here. So it's very exciting because we've been wanting to plant a rose garden for quite some time, and we've been limited to a 3-rose bush, here and there, containers. So this is exciting because we actually get to plant a rose garden.
Yeah. So we went ahead and started doing some of the things already because we were kind of back and forth on things. Change. Things change when you plant something and then you finally get it going. It gets real. It's real, and the plants change. So I guess some video will be shown right now on what we want to go ahead and walk them through that.
We'll throw some video in there. We basically, we had to come up with the design first. How do we want these beds to go? And with that design came, okay, well then let's just start cutting into the ground and start tilling it and see if we like it or not. We even went as far as to put some landscape fabric on one side and fill it with mulch just to see if we were actually gonna like it, because that's part of the process of gardening, is having an idea and actually seeing it for yourself and understanding whether you want it or not. Now, it's worth the sacrifice to say, you know what, I don't like it. Let's move all this mulch and start from scratch. I would rather sacrifice doing that than planting a whole garden and then coming to find out we don't even like it.
We don't like it. First thing I told Ambrose, I wanted to be more of a natural look. We know that mulch is very important when, it's very hot here.
Yeah.
So it's important to keep moisture for any plant here, especially in the summer months. But yeah. What else did you do? You had to get a bigger auger.
So I had to get a bigger auger. Normally I use the hand-powered auger, which works fine for annuals and small perennials, but we started to find out that our soil here, as is in most of Texas, is clay and rocky, especially with the newer development here. All this landscape was done with rock, so we came into running into a lot of rock in our soil here, so that's something we wanted to combat, and I had to go get a bigger auger, something I never thought I was going to do, but we went ahead and did that.
And it was very easy on Ambrose because he's usually the one that digs a big holes in the garden. And with those big rocks.
Yeah, it just saves so much time. We were able to do all 14 holes in here in less than half a day and even carve them out the way we wanted them to. And it just worked perfectly.
So we laid fabric because of weeds.
Yes.
So that is something that we had to have.
Yeah.
We know that the weeds can come back. They're very aggressive weeds, and that's the reason why we don't have grass right now.
Yeah.
We don't have any grass right now because we knew we were going to do something around here.
Yes.
And there was no reason to grow grass, waste water on that as well, when we knew that we were going to make beds around this area. Once everything is set and planted, then we will figure out if we even want grass around this area. So I think I'm gonna go ahead, let Ambrose do the first rows. That way you can explain the process.
Yeah, we'll explain the process and what we use. All right, so real quick, I'm gonna talk about planting these roses in. Now, a lot of these are own root roses. It's the same thing for bare root roses as well. First thing we wanna do is we wanna have our soil prepped. So we wanna get some of our native soil, and we're just gonna mix some of our native soil with some compost. I've already got quite a bit in here. I'm just adding just a bit more. I want to do about half and half native soil and compost. And the compost I'm using a Espoma's Land and Sea Gourmet Compost. It's worked really well for us in the past for other roses. So all we want to do is we just want to grab this and just mix our native soil with the compost until it looks pretty evenly mixed in there. Okay, so once we have our soil and compost mix ready to go, we're ready to plant. Now, first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and get our roses, and we want to kind of make sure that it's going to fit nice and snug in here. And when I say nice and snug, I'm not talking about bending the roots all over the place. You want to just make sure they fit comfortably. You don't want to be snapping them or breaking them or anything like that. You just want to make sure it's going to fit nice and comfortably in there. Now, here in Texas, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant pretty much down to the crown of the root ball here, only because we don't get a lot of rain here, so I'm not worried about it drowning the rose out. But we do get plenty of sun, so I want to make sure that there's enough room for it to get sun all the way down to the crown. And we're also going to fill it with mulch here, so keep in mind how high you want to go with your mulch. You don't want to plant it too deep, and you don't want to plant it too high. Now, in those colder zones, you may want to plant it a little deeper just to protect that a little bit more during the winter. And then in some of the more windier areas, like in the Midwest, you might want to plant a little bit deeper to keep your rose from rocking as well. Those are just some of the little tips that we've learned over the years from other people planting roses to keep your roses healthy and performing really, really well. Now, just making sure that it's going good in there. The next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and put my compost soil mix in here, just a little bit to form a small triangle, because as you can see, the roses have this little, like the way the roots come out like a triangle. So you want to go ahead and support that in the center there. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is create a little triangle in there so it settles in nicely. All right, and before I get ahead of myself, this rose right here we're planting is Bathsheba. This is a climbing rose that we're putting in this section right here. And although you don't see it right now, once this whole bed is done and it starts to grow out throughout the season, we have everything already completed. You're gonna see exactly what we're going for. But we're excited again, like I said, to have all these roses. All right, so I forgot one thing. Biotone. Now, biotone is gonna be a lifesaver when it comes to planting anything new or anything you think might get stressed out, or even at hotter times of the season. Now, we have planted roses when it's hot, and biotone absolutely does wonders for it. But overall, biotone is going to help these roots start to take up more nutrients and water and produce even faster. So we want to go ahead and mix up a good couple handfuls or scoops of biotone in that compost soil mix, and then form your triangle right back up. Get your rose in here. Make sure it fits nice and snug. And then start filling it with soil. And that's it. Quick and easy way to plant your roses. Like I said, I left it a little high because I'm going to backfill with mulch once we get done with this whole bed. So I want the mulch to kind of come up to it, so that way it keeps it hydrated as well. Now, you don't want to compact it too much. I compacted it, but you don't want to stand up, step on it. Unless it's really leaning, you want to kind of push it down a little bit, but you don't want to compact it too much, because what's going to happen when you start to water these in, it's going to start to settle some of that soil a little bit more, and you want it to naturally set rather than compacted it. So that's pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and do the rest of the garden. We'll talk about where each rose is going and what rose we're actually planting here. All right, so 6 down and 9 more to go. Okay, so we're done planting 14 roses. What a job.
Yeah, we're crazy.
A little bit, not too much.
Okay, yeah, I'm laughing because I cannot believe we just planted that many right now.
Yeah, we still have one more to go.
Yes.
We'll probably do that at
excited.
the end of the video here. Next thing we need to do is we need to throw some mulch down on our landscape fabric to make these beds shape out a little bit better.
I think that's gonna make it look really nice.
Yep.
gonna play a little game. Who is who? Because I don't think I remember every single rose. There's some roses in here that we didn't even think we were going to plant this year. So in here, I'm starting off real bad already. Gentle. Amber's gonna have to say that one.
Gentle Hermine.
Gentle Hermine, there. And then this one right here, I know who it is for sure. It's one of my favorites. This is Strawberry Hill. This is a climbing rose. And I don't know if Ambrose explained, we will be building something for it to climb up. And then this right here, I cannot forget this because I've been wanting Gabriel's Oak since the first year it came out, and he's sold out. So I'm so happy that he's in the garden. That's going to be a very pretty color. That over there is pink, another pink. This is more of a, what would you say, red pink?
Reddish pink,
look.
yeah.
And then this right here is Bathsheba.
Nope, Lark Ascending.
Lark Ascending.
Yes.
There you go. Lark Ascending, which is pink as well, right?
Yep.
Okay. Then we have another climber here, Bathsheba.
Yes.
So this is more of the apricots colors. Again, be climbing something. And then this right here.
Evelyn.
How can I forget Evelyn? Evelyn's always been one of those that I see when we're trying to see what else we're going to order, but we pass her by. That's why it's so good that we went for the bundles that DA has been, that has available. Okay, so I'm going to be a little lost here because I really don't know who this is.
I have a book and I'm trying to.
Ambrose is looking through the little book.
That one is Scepter d'Isle.
Scepter d'Isle. And I'm going to be learning these names to say them right. And that's Tottering by
Gentle is right here.
By Gentle.
Yep.
Tottering by Gentle. It's like a class here for me. Okay. And then right here, the Generous Gardener.
Yep.
So this is another climber. Very, very pretty rose. I was actually thinking of planting one in the front. I do have two more roses up there, climbers in the front, that are very much alike, like this one. We'll be climbing it too. And then this right here is Lady of Shalott.
That is Charles Darwin.
I'm wrong. Charles Darwin. Okay.
Right next to it, you're right.
So I guess I have moved it. I was going to put it there. This here is, I'm going to say Princess Alex. No, this is Boscable.
Yep.
So Boscable is another one that we've been wanting since we started growing David Austin's, but just never seemed to add to the garden. Very pretty flower as well. So that is in pink color, because I forgot to tell you.
Yes.
Pink, very beautiful yellow over there.
Yep.
The Tottering by Gentle, which is a single flower.
Yep.
This climber here is a very pink climber. That right there is yellow. Then this right here, Boscable, is more of a pink.
Yep.
Deep pinks? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's like a deep pink.
Okay, now that right there is Lady of Shalott.
Yep.
We have a Lady of Shalott in the back of the growing, on the fence. It's a climber.
Yeah.
So this is a bush in bush form, shrub form. And then this right here is Princess
Alexandra of Kent.
Of course. My goodness, I wanted this rose so much because one of her daughter's name is Alexis, and she's been wanting this rose for a long time. So that's orange over there, a very beautiful orange. And then Princess of Alexandria of Kent is also more of a deep pink. And then we have here Cardin Mill.
Yep.
This is a very beautiful apricot color rose. We actually have two tree roses up in the front.
Yep.
Planted by our door. So first off, there is no edging. The mulch is there, and it will spread with time.
Yeah.
Before we say anything else, the roses kind of just happened. We've always wanted to have a full-blown rose garden.
Yeah.
But we weren't that sure yet because we wanted to play with other plants. We will be putting perennials later on.
Yeah, so actually we might wrap
It's
up this
raining.
video fast. We might not even do Harlow Carve video, maybe separately. But talking about the mulch, we did the mulch because we wanted to have kind of a natural look. But like I said in the beginning of the video, we do some sacrifices in the garden. We did this not knowing whether we were going to like it or not. We ended up liking the design, and now it's a matter of, do we want clear edging? Do we want to leave it natural? And I think we came to the conclusion that we might do some edging on here just to define the beds a little bit more and kind of bring them out a little bit just so they look evenly and match evenly, and you know, just have that symmetrical look to them. So I think that's what we're going to go with, and you know, just,
once again, the beds do have that liner.
Yeah.
So the weeds won't grow, but
weeds are
either way, they might jump in there somehow. You know, weeds.
Yeah.
But that would be really nice. Also,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, maybe play with stone again. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really fun. We might come back and plant wrap up this video just planting the back, the Harlow car out back. I really would love to put it in this video.
Yeah.
And later on in the future, we're gonna have a lot of fun coming out here and talking about every single rose. I think we should. We will have another video, so explaining, like I said, more about the roses. But if you know anybody has questions, we can go ahead and answer on
definitely.
those too. Then we can talk a little bit about the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even though this looks like, you know, we just put it together just because we did. We kind of
Yeah,
just...
we did
the
kind of throw it
roses were
together.
coming,
Yeah.
and we just needed to make sure we were going to have a place for them to be planted.
Yeah.
But it still took some time and some...
Yes, it also doesn't help, David Austin, that you had sales and bundles, because that just
That did it.
prompted us to buy
That
more
did
roses.
it, David Austin.
But
You know?
either way, it's exciting to be able to have all these roses in the ground. We're loving the look. Again, define lines. We'll do some edging on it and see what that looks like. We can do some updates. I don't know, maybe every 2 weeks to show you guys the growth on the roses and what it's looking like back here.
And if you really, really enjoy this, go ahead and give us a like. Do that subscribe, you know, that subscribe there button, press it there, because that helps us a lot.
Definitely
so we
does.
can continue to go ahead and do these really fun projects.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get out of the rain now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.